problem.
Yes. Are we still live? Let me just make sure.
All right, I think I'm here because my AirPods was changing.
All right. So yeah, so we're back on. We're back live.
You're live.
Again,
You're
technical
alive.
issues. It is. We are alive. Yeah, we are not dead. Yeah, we're talking goals. We're still talking goals on this
Yeah,
live episode of the Game Changers podcast. Um, for those of you who would have lost our original live, there's a new link. So there's a new link on Facebook and YouTube. You should be getting it in a while.
man,
Um,
I'll share it out.
yeah. So let's just get people back on. My guest, like I said just
Yeah, man,
before
no
we
rush.
disappeared, my guest um should be back with us. Well, should be with us finally. In fact, in a little bit. Again, life is very challenging. Like we said, usually we have issues with a game changers interview. You guys just don't know about it, but I'm guessing you guys are getting the full idea of what a game changers interview is really like behind the scenes, so you can get an appreciation for what we have to do in post and editing and putting things back together. But I mean, it's part of life. It's part of the hustle. It's part of the goal.
I'm loving the live, man. Like I feel
All right,
like
Dupe. So
it.
so let
I mean, I feel like you do it once a month just to get the kinks out of your system.
for sure, for sure. I think we should. We should. We definitely should. And we can have different guests on, and but we'll discuss in detail.
No
When
problem.
we're not on live. Dupe.
Exactly.
All right. So all right. So we're talking setting goals. We're talking
Yeah.
about really getting on to goals here. Um, how then does one truly set realistic goals? You said about it must be dated, but I mean, what other elements are there of realistic goals though?
So there's a recent debate of like, it's either you follow your passion or you don't. I genuinely believe that it can start with your
Mm-hmm.
passion. It can start with where you are. It can start with where your what is something that you do effortlessly? What is something that you would do if you had all the money in the world? You identify that. But there's another thing I mean, it really depends on the goal. What is like bothering you the
Got you.
most that you keep seeing and saying you need to make a contribution to? You start there, and then I think you like I say, you set the date and you work backwards from there. I think that those that is what
Yeah.
helps you
Yep.
define and systemize a goal. Like that it either goes back to the
Yeah,
same
but
thing.
mhm. Yeah, but
No,
there's
no, I'm
a train of
listening.
thought out there that says, if it's not quote unquote, there's that smart model of setting goals. So so you go through different elements. So time based is one, like you said. There's so many different elements of smart quote unquote goals. But then I mean, is that really always are all these elements always relevant? So again, the elements of smart quote unquote goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Can we have goals without them? Is it realistic, quote unquote, to start those goals without all five elements of those smart goals?
I think it comes down to your personality. I mean, I think when you said smart goals, I realized that there is like the acronym and all of those things are valid. I don't know if the order is correct.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to your personality. It comes down to your tolerance, your level of tolerance for challenges. Someone like me, if I'm learning something, I just go right off of the deep end. I fall right into the water, and then I try to learn to swim from there. And there's nothing smart about that. And I have no problem failing in
Right.
public. Failing in public is one of my favorite things to do because at least I know the odds are high. At least I can show the courage, and I know that I have no choice but to get it done. Now, would I do that with my life on the line? No. Would I do that with other people's lives on the line? No. Would I do it with
Right.
other people's
Mhm.
money? No. So that's why I say it's your tolerance, your personality, and the threshold of the goal.
Got you. Got you. So you take more risk with your own life, like you said, you take more risk with your own stuff. I mean, if you're talking about having a family and children in the mix, a wife in the mix, or a husband for somebody else in the mix, it can be a little bit more risky
Yeah.
when you talk about that. And again, your goals must be more tailored because I mean there are other people who are involved in this situation, right? So I think it's very important again to know what works for you, I guess, when it comes to goal setting.
That's all it comes down to. All it comes down to is what your threshold, your tolerance for pain is. Because that's what matters in the end. That's what really matters in the end. And are you going to achieve this goal? What does the Bible says? What is it? What is it? You profit the whole world to lose your own soul? Like, is that really what you want to do?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's in the Bible, but it
yeah,
sounds
it's true.
biblical.
It's true. No, it is in the Bible. Yeah, it says
Okay, good. All
what
right.
does it profit a man to to
To gain the whole world and
gain
lose
the
his
whole
soul,
world but lose his own soul. Yeah, yeah. So you got it. You got it. You still remember that little bit of Bible here and there, bro. Don't don't shoot yourself in the foot too much. I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing well. You're doing well. All right, bro. So again, we're talking goals. We're talking crushing goals.
Hmm.
What are some of the goals that you have achieved that have maybe followed that SMART model? That take me through the entire process, right? I mean, because I know
Oh, like
you've
a
been
smart
a
model
creative
goal?
for a while.
A smart model goal.
Yeah.
I'm happy you brought that up. A smart model goal is something I talk about a lot. It's called Mecca Mondays. So essentially, knowing
Okay.
that for one week, every week for a year, we were putting out a song was a smart model goal. Like we
Mm-hmm.
knew what the product
Okay.
was, we knew how much time we had to do it, we knew what steps we had to take. Another smart model goal was my album 3D that I put out, like we had to do it in a very specific way, working with very specific people, and it was supported by a company that like you self-funded. They were like, yo, you get people to crowdfund and crowdsource your album. Your album success was based on the audience and your fan base. So that's where we talk about other people's
Wow.
money. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Kickstarter, but and it wasn't GoFundMe, but it was something of that ilk, you know? And the album was a
Mm-hmm.
success. The launch event was a success. Everybody got their stuff fulfilled, and that was like, and the album ended up winning like a Jaco award, so that was a big deal for me.
Beautiful, beautiful. So again, you said something, right? And
We
you
said something.
you also went after it. Well, yeah. You
Yeah.
and Mecca would have said something,
hmm
and you went after it. But I mean, the thing about goals is that I mean you can talk as much as you want, but if you don't follow through, nothing happens, right? And often you have things in the road, when life happens. So how do you then stay disciplined, when you have a goal to achieve?
Well, that's something I think about a lot. And when you said what you're saying about like you read about and you can talk, I wanted to say this part is not in the Bible for sure. You could read as much as you want about push-ups. You're not going to get big arms. Eventually, you have to do them, right? Um,
Right.
along the way on your journey, you will always hit a setback. Like you said, we're going live today. We've decided that's our goal. We're having difficulties, but the first hurdle or the first flat tire, we were not like, yo, okay, we're done. We didn't slash the other three tires and keep going. You have to have
Right.
discipline. You have to be persistent. Like money cannot buy those kind of things. You have to just know what's important to me. Also, I mentioned family. Some people use their family as an excuse. Some people say, boy, I have a little baby there. I can't do this. And, my wife nagging me there. And to me, it's the opposite for me. Like you do these things because you have those people that you want to take care of, because you want to be a leader to those people. You want those people
Absolutely.
to achieve their goals the same way. So it's your threshold for pain, man. It's your threshold for pain. And sometimes it's as you do the reps, it's as you keep failing, that's the only time you're going to be able to hit those roadblocks and keep going. Like people run hurdles. When you run hurdles, if you knock down the first hurdle, you don't stop. It just slow you down, but you just keep jumping.
For sure. For sure. And I like that you said that because that's very true and very important. sometimes often we need motivation to achieve and hit our goals. Often we need people in our lives that inspire us to hit those goals, because I mean without those motivations sometimes, I mean we don't really have anybody to achieve it for. I mean, no man is an island, and we are made as social beings. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very important to have those people in your life, whether it be a parent, whether it be a spouse, whether it be like a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, a child, somebody in your life that inspires you to do better for them. And it can also be, and that is so true for me, it can be your future self,
That's a
right?
dope
You
person
have
to
a
be.
life
That's a
that you
dope
want to
person
live.
to be responsible for. Your future self.
Exactly. Exactly. Your future self must be proud of you.
That's right.
We have our guest on. Our guest has arrived.
Welcome, welcome.
Hey, good evening, brothers. How are you doing?
Hey
We're
bro,
doing great. How about you?
Mr. Innovis, how are you, man?
Not bad, man. Not bad.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so this we'll take a pause there and we'll let you introduce yourself to our audience. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, for those of you who are watching, my name is Nev Ubat, better known as Ace or Innov Ace. I am the founder and CEO of Innovace Aspire to Inspire, which is a holistic lifestyle brand here in St. Lucia. Amongst other things, I am also an entrepreneur. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So like Dupes and I were speaking about Nev, are we really focusing on crushing goals, like you said, like for sure, because I mean this episode is between the two of us really. Um,
Yeah.
what in your life inspired you first of all? Because I mean, I know you are a tremendous goal setter and a goal achiever as well. What in your life inspired you to start your brand?
What inspired me to start the brand?
That's correct.
The genuine passion that I have for helping people and seeing people grow and elevate, I would say is what really inspired me to start the brand. So initially when we started off, it wasn't a business. It wasn't really, you know, something that was generating a source of income. It was more so
Got got you.
myself. I started and just doing my workouts, having fun. And then I started to make videos with some buddies of mine. So we'd go out, make videos working out, and then you know, I one day I saw a group of athletes in Rodney Bay. They were basketballers, and they all had uniforms. And so I got the idea, I got the inspiration. I'm saying, I have a group, I have a team. Why don't I have uniforms? And so really, that's where
Right,
we
right.
started. And a lot of the inspiration and the encouragement, I would say, really came from the people, the public of St. Lucia,
Mm,
my friends, family
right.
overseas. I really would like to just take the time to say thank you to each and every person out there who has been instrumental in the growth and development of Innovate Aspire to Inspire. Where we are today, we really are, I would say, successful because of people, just people supporting the movement and encouragement, especially from my little brother. He's given many ideas that I decided to implement, and the people liked it. So yeah, man, I just shout out to everybody who's been instrumental. Yeah.
That's great, man. That's really great. I know Quinn is fixing some issues. Good to hear your story. So whilst you whilst we're waiting for Quinn to kick back in, where can we find out more about you and what you do?
Yeah, so you could go to Facebook, Instagram. It's everywhere. Innovace, which is INNOVACE. As long as you type that, you should get it.
We'll find you.
Aspire to
Okay,
inspire.
okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, beautiful, beautiful. And how did your fitness journey begin?
Well, I would say it really started with the desire for me to manifest into the world what I saw in my mind, you know. So, um, growing up at a young age, I had a lot of influence from my father. But of course, somebody could only do so much in terms of giving you information to change your life. At the end of the day, it's your life, you know. So, I mean, I took my own path, I could say, and I gained a lot of weight. I was overweight, and all the way up to, I would say, 15, 16 years old. I just made up my mind. I looked myself in the mirror one day and I said, "This is not who I am. This is not who I see myself being." So, let's start making the changes necessary, and step by step, it's slowly started to come into fruition, and here I am today.
That's amazing, man. And that's an amazing story for people. And like for people that struggle with that, what would you say was a big factor for you? Okay, you looked yourself in the mirror, you said this is what you're gonna do, this is how you're gonna change yourself. What were some of the hurdles or what some of the challenges that you had, and what kept you along that path, continuing?
Well, I mean, for starters, one of the highest hurdles that we must overcome as individuals is self-doubt. Before anything can destroy you on the outside, it destroys you from the inside out first. So your thoughts, your own internal thoughts. So I would say, conquering self-doubt, man. Just going for it, just being courageous like a lion, and just going for what you want, irrespective of whether or not you believe you can or what anybody else would think. So that's where it starts. Secondly, I would say another hurdle would be getting over your fear or detaching yourself from the opinions of other people. I can definitely say that if I had to pay much attention to the opinions of others, I would not be where I am today. And number three, I would end there. I would say, consistency, just being consistent, sticking to it. That's a big hurdle. Many people start things and they are unable to stick to it. So I would say these three.
Yeah, those are three powerful things. And as a musician, as a successful musician, those are three powerful things that stick with me as well. You mentioned your network. You mentioned the fact that you saw what was going on. At least just to make sure I'm getting it correct, you decided to have like the uniform. How important is having like a network? How important is having other people in your network, whether it to be to motivate you or whether it to be if you needed something you could lean into it. Like for the listeners, like how important is it to have a network, a team, a family, even if it's not officially bloodline, how to support what you've been doing and to continue help you along the way?
Man, let me tell you, that's fundamental. Even lions in the jungle, they don't move by themselves. They're in a pride, and yeah, I mean, lions, they say they are the king of the jungles, even if they don't live in the jungle. But
I know
they
what you
say that
mean.
they are the king of the jungle. They are one of the most ferocious animals in the animal kingdom. But even them, without having a strong team or strong network, they wouldn't really be anything, right? So, I mean, again, just reiterating what I said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the success that my business or my brand has had has a lot to do with the people that I had around me, or I would say have around me, because of their influences. And influence
Mm-hmm.
could come in different forms, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I mean, at the end of the day, somebody could tell you something, and unless you don't execute it, you will not see success. So, I mean, a lot
Right.
of the weight was on my shoulders to execute the ideas and to make it happen. But then I also had to be an innovator, in that I had to be able to envision things in my mind and believe that if I could see it in my mind and I can speak it out into reality, then it will happen.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
So you're a
that's
big believer
important.
in the power of the spoken word?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, let me tell you, I have it. There is a certain energy that is generated around you when you are walking in a group, and this is why many young men find themselves joining gangs because it amplifies your energy. You know, there, like they say, it's a vibe. You know, you could feel a vibe,
Mm.
whether it's good or bad. So
Yeah, positive
when
and
you're in a
negative.
group, when you're in a group and everybody has the same mission, the same goal, it can push you to do better or be better. Um, yeah, that's important.
Yeah,
Just
man. So yeah,
motivation.
definitely. I guess I'll continue with some of the questions while Quinn is making his way back. Have you ever set a goal for yourself, failed, and how did you bounce back from that? Have you
Oh,
ever set a
fuck
goal
yeah,
for yourself, failed?
for sure.
So definitely,
Most
yeah.
definitely. I mean, that's part. Listen, let me just speak to the listeners directly, right? And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm sure somebody, one soul somewhere in the world is going to hear this, and is going to ignite something in them.
Hmm.
Being a winner, it doesn't mean that you will not fail.
Right.
Being a winner doesn't mean you will not fall. Being a winner simply means that no matter what, you will get back up and you will keep on going because you have a mission, you have a goal.
Hmm.
One of the goals, I mean, there have been so many, um, but I cannot really say that I failed at anything. You know,
Hmm.
I don't, like, if I really have to assess it
Hmm.
objectively, I cannot say I really failed at anything, man. Everything was
Right.
lesson. You know, every
Right.
every
Right. Right.
L
Right.
was a lesson. So
You turn your L's into lessons. Hmm.
yeah, man, it's not. Listen,
Hmm.
we are spiritual beings having a human experience, you know, and this entire experience is meant to teach us something. And if every day you step out into the world with the mindset that, hey, I'm going to learn something today, whether it is you fall or not, it doesn't matter because you're still walking away with a new piece of knowledge. So if you set a goal and you try to reach it and you don't reach it, you didn't fail because you could attempt that same goal maybe 2 years later when the stars align and you could
Yeah,
reach
the
it.
timing may not have been correct. The timing may not have been correct.
And so I've definitely experienced that, you know, and I would say alignment is everything. You know, you need to be aligned with your mindset needs to be aligned with your heart, and your
Correct.
heart needs to be aligned with what comes out of your mouth and what your hands do. And this is the
Mm.
only way you could see real success in your life. You know, through alignment. When you live your life like that, you don't fail at anything. You can try something and it doesn't work out, and you decide to pivot. You didn't fail. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you
Yeah.
mean. And again, I mean, Queen will do it a different way, but I'll always relate it to my, which is the creative arts. Like, there's no really wrong or right until you actually put it down. Like, we'll be in the studio, we'll be like, yo, what would this sound like? What does this sound like? Yo, just record it and listen to it. And if it don't sound right, then you try it a different way. And it's like, I mean, even with my fitness challenges and stuff, when I go to the gym, when I go
Yeah.
and I feel bad, it's because I wasn't doing the thing the right way. But it doesn't mean I have to stop. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm racing against everybody else in the gym, but I have to remind myself, but bro, it's you. You know what I'm saying? You your only competition is you. Like you trying to look like that person over there, but you can only look like you. So I appreciate you saying that. Another question that we had lockdown was, are there any specific resources that you use, books, podcasts, or mentors that have helped you along your way, whilst you're on this journey?
Brother, listen to me. There is no successful person in this world that has gotten there by themselves. There is no such thing as a
I
self-made
agree.
millionaire. It
I
does not
agree.
exist. It does not exist. You know, I have been able to achieve targets that were incomprehensible to me maybe 10 years ago. And that's simply because of books that I've read or people
Mm-hmm.
I've met along my way. You know, I was just making some eggs as I came from the gym earlier, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just doing some reflection. I reflect a lot, right? I'm a deep thinker.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend a lot of time reflecting a lot. And I was just expressing gratitude to God for specific people that were placed in my life at specific times to give me specific information. So, for example, somebody that I would recommend to those of you out there who are hungry for success, his name is Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher.
Okay. E.T. the hip hop
This
preacher. Yeah.
this gentleman, I'm saying this and I'm getting chills because I have found myself in some very, very challenging situations, and it is through listening to this specific individual I have been able to go through certain mental barriers. So the first speech that I listened to by Eric Thomas is you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. He's referring to success. And I listened to that and I'm getting chills right now because it was really a turning point in my life, man. Like it did something to me. My mind was set on fire, my heart, my soul, everything was just set on fire because it indicated to me that it doesn't matter what challenges that you are faced with. It doesn't matter who opposes you. It doesn't matter what you have to deal with. If you really want it bad enough, you will find a way. You will make a way. And listen, everything happened in its right timing. We cannot do anything by ourselves. All power comes from God up above. So this gentleman was very, very instrumental in really setting a trajectory for me. Somebody else was my chemistry lecturer at Sir Arthur, Lira Lynn
Okay.
Marty. Let me tell you, man, just the words that she spoke into my life, it created a paradigm shift. It changed the way that I had been thinking for many years in my life, which was not necessarily wrong, but I had certain parts in my mentality that needed correction. And listen, man, we are committed to the art of self-improvement. They call that kaizen in Japanese or Chinese culture.
That's
It's
Japanese,
correct.
really
yes, sir.
the devotion to self-improvement. And if you really want to get better, you must be willing to sacrifice certain things. And some of the things that are most that we cling on to the most is not even material things or people. It's certain concepts that we hold in our minds. So Eric Thomas, Liralyn Marty, and I would say, I mean, there are so many, man. Jesus, there are so many, but I'm giving you people who, at very, very, very distinct times in my life, I made a shift. Somebody else
Yeah.
I would say would be my uncle who is in Canada, and that is Gerald Pera. He's a business owner, he's an entrepreneur. We call him Jerry, Uncle Jerry, Uncle G.
Mm-hmm.
And he's married to, my aunt. He's white in origin, he's not black. And, just being so close to him, um, it opened my mind because it really showed me just how similar but different we can be, even if we belong to the same race, which is the human race. But your culture, whatever you brought in, whatever you're born into, information, it really determines how you navigate the world, and it really determines what you believe is possible for you. So, I mean, for him, he grew up in a family of businessmen. And so that's the mindset, you
That's
know.
correct.
And let me tell you, man, he's definitely been very instrumental in giving me, I would say, this no matter what, I must win mentality. And also the mentality to be more cognizant of the people around you. So this is where that my love grew for helping people, but then also going for what I want. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, these three individuals were very instrumental uh, in my growth and success and development. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And definitely, that's like a tightrope. That's a real tightrope. Like helping people, going for yourself, and knowing the balance between not allowing some of the people that are in your I don't wouldn't consider them your network, but around you to bring you down. And I really love how you spoke about the Kaiser, and I love how you spoke about a mentor from afar, a mentor that's close, and mentors that are close, and how they made life changing impacts on your life. But I'm
So
gonna bring. Mhm.
let me just cut through real quick and just say this, right? So I will say this word again: alignment. So uh, Snoop Dogg has this video where he says um, there is something called a gap that forms when you start to get successful.
Yep.
This is you and this is your friends. When you start to get successful, you start to do this. Now these are your friends. You want them to come with you. But listen, not everybody wants to put in the work, and not everybody is willing to do what it takes to get to the next level. Some people rather stay here, they're comfortable here. But you're doing this. So what happens inevitably is there is this rift, this gap that gets created, right? And what Snoop Dogg is saying is that you, as the individual who's rising up, you must now adopt the mentality that if these individuals cannot raise their own frequency and their own vibration and get up there as well, then you cannot be willing to lower yourself just to stay among them. You must
Mhm.
separate. And
Mhm.
with that separation, of course, eventually you find people who are on the same frequency and vibe as you. So some again, going back to what we were speaking about, which is sacrifice, man. Sometimes you
Mhm.
gotta take that road where you're walking it alone, where
That's
it's
right.
just you and the Most High God, and you thugging it out. You know what I mean? You gotta do that, bro.
Listen, man, I
For
had to
sure.
tug it out by myself when Queen dropped off the podcast. So I'm gonna so
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so
There we go. And
so, so as
you did very well.
I appreciate it, man. So as someone who's in the background doing production and stuff like that, it's my opportunity to hand the show back to Quinn. I'm there with you
Yep.
guys, and let's make it happen.
Good
Thank,
job,
thank
man.
you so
Good
much,
job.
Dupes, man. Thank you for jumping in
I got
when
you,
I
bro.
had technical difficulties. Hopefully, I don't have technical
Don't worry.
difficulties for the rest of this conversation. But I was able to jump in like some parts, and I really liked where you took it. But Nev, I really want to speak to you again about, or re-emphasize rather, the importance of that network that you spoke about, because I realized that there are goal helpers and then there are goal preventers, right? But how do I know who is a goal helper and who is a goal preventer? How do I know who to choose to help me with my goals?
Discernment.
Okay.
You must read the individual. You must identify whether or not this individual is aligned with your goals, your morals, your standards, your principles. I mean, you're we're supposed to have a compass inside of us that guides us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which tells us right from wrong. And there are some people that's going to come around you who don't have a compass. They do anything. They don't care. They don't have integrity. And so, for you, if integrity is one of your morals, which it should be, then if you're dealing with somebody who has no integrity, then you know you shouldn't be dealing with that person. If you're
Right.
dealing with somebody who doesn't respect you or doesn't respect others, you shouldn't be dealing with that person. It doesn't matter what else they could offer to you or what other value that they may have. If that individual is of bad character, eventually it's going to end bad. So you must be able to read people, and it's simple. Just pay attention and listen. You know, I always say when people are talking to you, don't listen to what they say. Listen to what they're not saying.
Yeah.
uh, and you could read books, man, like read books on how to read people. If it doesn't come naturally to you, it comes naturally to some people, right? So if you are having a difficulty with distinguishing who's good from who's bad, then either read the books or just pay attention to your instincts. Everybody, we're human beings. We all have instincts. Some of us choose not to listen to our instincts. Some of us choose
Yep.
to allow people to hijack our instincts. So deep down inside, you sense that this person is not a good person, but you allow them to hijack your mind into believing that they're good. And then in the end, they prove to you that they're not a good person. So
Right.
again, that's just a lesson for you to fall into alignment with your heart, your instinct, your gut. You know what I mean? They say listen to your gut, but your gut is really your heart. You
Yep.
feel it. You can feel when people are off or when they're on. So as time goes by, the more that you practice it, the better you get, and things become a bit more peaceful for you.
Beautiful, for sure.
Yeah.
Now I want to go into some practical, really, really practical solutions in 2025 in particular. We're just ending February. People have the majority of the year for themselves still. Most people often say, this is my year. This is my year to do X, Y, Z. What are some of the very practical things that we can do to ensure that this is indeed our year of
Start
transformation? We might
praying.
not get. Okay,
Start praying.
that's a good one.
Prayer is I think that's the only thing I would say. Start praying, man, because the island is getting very dark, and things are getting
Indeed.
very, 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 very chaotic. We need to start praying more. That's it, man. That's it. Once you start praying more, everything else comes. They say in the Bible, in the scripture, it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness,
All
and
of these
all other
things.
things shall be added."
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't want to come on here and preach to nobody tonight, but if you really want the secret to success or the answer, start praying. Work on your relationship with God. I promise. That's what works for me, man. Everybody has their own belief. Everybody has their own thing. I mean, whatever works for you, do it. But if you really want something that works and is solid and is true and has stood the test of time, I would say start praying to God, the Creator. You know what I mean? And really connect with Him. We're living in an era where there are so many different beliefs now, and nobody really know what to believe.
Right.
So yeah, start praying, man. That's it. That's all.
For sure. For sure. So that I really like. I didn't expect you to go that direction, but I really like that because in our society we seem to have been lacking morals, and the Bible gives you the guideline. I mean, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all of these things will be added. So I mean, whatever goal you want, pray about it. And often, let's be honest, often our goals are selfish goals. We only want it for ourselves, we want
Yeah.
it to improve ourselves. But I realize that according to the Bible, God doesn't operate that way. He gives you things that can benefit society, and your purpose and your desires. If it doesn't align with God's desire, then I mean it won't work out. So I really like that you went there. I didn't expect it, but I really, really, really like that. So okay, so we have prayed. We have prayed. What would be the next step, right after the prayer, and then we think we have the answer from prayer. What next, though? I mean, we have
Take
to do
action.
something. Okay, all right.
Take action. Faith without works is dead.
Absolutely.
Faith without works is dead. The Bible says it itself. You cannot just be praying, 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 and God send food. God do this. God do that. People think God is this magician in the sky. God have a magic wand,
Right,
and you
right.
say, God do this, bam. God do that. Nah,
Right.
bro, it don't work that way. You say your prayer, you do what you gotta do, and you get your butt up and you go out there and you make it happen. If
Yeah.
God sees that you're serious and you're determined and you're tenacious, and you have the right mindset, and He sees that whatever you're praying for is in alignment with His will for you, then He'll make it happen. But you can't just stay inside all day, guys. So there are people like that, bro. There are fellas I know that only block, and I try and talk to them man already. And them man mindset is things supposed to just come to them, things supposed to just
Happen,
fall in
yeah.
the lap. The government supposed to just do things for them. Guys, not so the world working, papo. You understand? And pardon my, Lucian vernacular, but
Nah,
sometimes you ought to bring it out.
for
Sometimes you ought to
sure.
bring it out and really
For
connect
sure.
to the people and keep it real, keep it 100. That's the problem that we're facing today is that people are not authentic. People are not they're not authentic with themselves. If you're not authentic with yourself, you cannot be authentic with me or you or the next person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I would really urge people to start doing, which is really practical, now that you've prayed and you think you have the right answer and you've taken action towards your goals, take the time necessary to find out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Once you are able to identify who you are, nobody can tell you otherwise. Nobody cannot tell you, oh, Daman, Gaza user, this user, that. You know better.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cannot stray you. Nobody cannot take your mind and do what they want with it. Your mind is now yours because you know who you are and you know who you serve. But if you do not know that, then people are always going to be able to pull you in any which direction that they want, and you'll always feel
Facts.
lost. You won't be able to reach the goals that you set to reach because you're not operating in authenticity. They say authenticity is the highest frequency, next to love. Love and authenticity is at the top of that pyramid, and at the bottom of the pyramid would be fear, anger, these things. There is a pyramid which demonstrates or illustrates better frequencies and how our emotions are they send out like they send out electrical signals. I guess that might be too deep for some people, but it goes deep, man. It really goes deep, and your thoughts do become things. So, I mean, before you can start to see change in your physical world, and this is me piggybacking on a question that Mr. Dukes asked me. He said, what was one of the stumbling blocks that you experienced? And I told him that you had to overcome. I told him it's self doubt. Whatever you tell yourself up here, you know. And I told him once I changed what was up here, and then I started to see what I want for myself, I could manifest it into reality. I could make it a reality. So you need to be conscious and mindful of whatever it is that you tell yourself and what you put into your mind, because these things determine what you will or will not do. So
For
that's
sure.
the most practical advice I could give, bro. Before you can fix your physical world, you have to fix what's up in here. An author I would recommend to many people. He's a Canadian psychologist, author, and lecturer. His name is his title is
Jordan
Doctor.
Peterson.
So Dr. Jordan Peterson, and in
Correct.
in one of his books, the 12 rules for life. He speaks about cleaning your damn room. That's how he says it. Clean your damn room. Clean your room. If you want to have order in your mind and in your life, start with your room. And when he's
Yep.
saying your room, he's literally saying clean your room, but he's also
Your room. Yeah.
figuratively saying to clean your mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see change in your physical life, you need to, again, I'm going back to what I said earlier, and I will tell you, Mr. Quinn, anything that I say, it's always linked to something that I will say later, right? So
All right.
earlier I spoke about alignment.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not in alignment, then everything is gonna be thrown off. You're talking about you want success and you want this and you want that, but your eating habits are off. You don't exercise, you don't
Right.
read, you most of the time you're spending it on TikTok and Facebook just minding people's business. Most of the time you have when you're with your friends, you're just gossiping and running your mouth and just talking nonsense. But you claim to want a better life. You cannot get a better life doing that. Your habits must change. If you want to see change in your physical, I said earlier that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Your thoughts, it's spiritual, man. They say thoughts become things. When you think about something, it happens in the real world. So that's the most practical advice I can give anybody, bro. I swear. And if you missed it, if you didn't get it, if you don't understand, but maybe the information is just not for you. I always say not everything is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And this is referencing a parable in the Bible of the sower. He said when the sower came, he spread seeds, and some fell on good soil, and some fell on bad soil, and some fell here, and some fell there. And in the end, some took root and some didn't. So when you're speaking and you're giving advice to a crowd or a group or an audience, understand that certain things you say will go over certain people's heads, and
Facts.
others it'll fall into their heart. If you're ready
Yeah.
to receive it, they say if when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So
Hmm.
I hope this message was helpful to somebody as to what are some of the practical things that they could do. If you don't remember anything I said, because I know I said a lot, prayer. Just start there, man. Start talking
For
to
sure.
God, man.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that's
That
the
that
most
that's
important thing.
beautiful. That's beautiful. You said so many things, but I really like particularly the last thing that you said about the parable of the sower, because the issue in that parable again was not the seed, right? It was where it landed and how it was perceived and how it was taken on,
Yes, sir.
right? All the seed was good, but it didn't flourish in certain places. And we as goal setters, as people who want to elevate our lives, should not feel bad when certain people do not accept our message or don't get our vision or don't understand where we're coming from, right?
Brother,
It's
brother,
important.
where is your focus?
Yep.
You know, if you're focused on pleasing people, then you will never get anywhere in life. And I could reference another parable of the, and this is not a biblical parable, but there is a child, there is a donkey, there is a man and his wife. The child, the man, and the wife are on the donkey and they're moving.
Uh,
They're
yep.
going. Some people say, "Hey, Sega, so you're born in Lucian vernacular, Lucian slang. Me Sega, so you're born to do the donkey that gasa. Hey,
Right.
Sega, you'll have no heart, gasa." So the guy is like, maybe you're right, man. Maybe we should walk. So they all got down and they letting the donkey walk, and everybody's walking. They meet another group of people. The other group of people say, "Gasa, you're stupid, man. You'll have no sense, gasa." And the man, mem, gasa, use a man, gasa. How you letting the child and the woman walk, gasa? And you have a whole donkey there. So the man is like, okay, you know what? He will walk. He will- and it goes on. It goes on. The point is, bro, you cannot please everybody. And if you try to
Nope.
please everybody, then in the end, guess what? You will end up the donkey.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You will end up you will not reach nowhere, bro, because at the end of the day, everybody has an opinion. You can't
Yes.
please everybody, doggy. Listen, Quinn, you can put on one of my favorite fragrances. I love fragrances. One of my favorite fragrances is Creed Aventus, right? You could
Mhm.
spray on Creed Aventus, man, walk into a room, maybe 10 people in the room. Out of that 10 people, 9 people could say they love it. Out of the 9, there is one in the 10, sorry, the 10 total, there is one person who says they don't like it. Who cares? It's Creed. It's
Yeah.
made its state. Creed is Creed. And
Yeah.
you must see yourself, I don't see yourself as a brand or a product, but understand that even if you're 24 karat gold, one of the most precious metals in the world, not everybody likes gold. Some people like silver. Some people like bronze. Some people they
Yep.
like no jewelry. They don't like no jewelry at all. So even if you're 24 karat gold, you're the best thing ever. Some people just don't like gold. And you
That's
have to
life.
understand that as an individual, it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do, people have their preference. And if you
Hmm.
understand that, then can you become a little bit more authentic with who you are deep down inside, because that's what people fall in love with, you know. When you step into a room and everybody stares at you and they're curious, they don't know what's going on, there is something deep down inside of you that's radiating outwards. And I could tell you that happens to me all the time, and I never understood why until this is somebody else who has been very positive of an influence in my life is McNeil Griffith. You know, he said, you know, you have an energy inside of you. People, we have energies inside of us, and some of us we live a life where we are, let's say, operating on a high frequency or low frequency. And you know, if you walk into a room and everybody's staring, everybody's wondering what's going on, then it says something about you as an individual. You are able to pull You create that curious type of, you know what I mean? And that has a lot to do with being authentic within yourself. Majority of people are not authentic, bro. I'm telling you, money doesn't make you authentic. Having a nice
Nope.
fit body doesn't make you authentic. These are some of the things that we admire and we strive for as human beings. Having 10 degrees, having the biggest house, having the nice cars, having the nice land, these things are great. It's amazing, but it doesn't make an individual. It doesn't give you
Absolutely.
character, it doesn't give you strength, and it definitely doesn't make you real, that's for sure. Because I met some really, really disgusting people with money. I
Yep.
met some really disgusting people with a great body. I met some really disgusting people with a great face. These things don't mean anything. What is your internal dialogue? Who are you on the inside? And this just goes back to the scripture, bro. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. If you're broken on the inside, bro, like, it doesn't matter what you have on the outside. There are some people who can be jealous of you, Quinn. They can be jealous of you and you don't have close to what they have. But guess what? You have something that they don't have. And that could be peace of mind. You could walk with a certain level of confidence that they cannot walk with, even if they have more than you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So I'm saying this to say that you must be you must always pray to God for discernment so that you're at least aware, and you know what to aim for. Sometimes just aiming for these material things, man, it doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
We need to look within. We need to stop looking out. A lot of us, we're looking on the outside for value and validation. You check it, we look to people to validate us and to say, hey, good job, or I like what you have, or da 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 da, whatever the case may be. I like your car, I like your house. These things don't matter, bro. Because at the end of the day, when you go and sleep, when you go and lay on your bed, it's just you and you. And some people, they cannot sleep, Quinn. They can't. They cannot sleep
Absolutely.
peacefully. So, yeah, man, find yourself as an individual. And you could only sometimes find yourself through isolation. You cannot be in a club or party or talking to friends every single day and trying to find yourself. Got too much noise, too much
Hmm.
talking.
For
Sometimes
sure.
you need to isolate, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
I really like that. At this point, Dupes, can you check the comment section? Just making sure that there are no
Oh,
questions.
we're
Because we
actually
coming.
live right now. I cannot
So
see
we
any comments, so I cannot engage with anybody.
yeah. So you will not be able to see on the platform, but Dupes should be able to see it on social media. Because we're on YouTube and on Facebook simultaneously. So Dupes, do we have any questions in the comment section? Uh, right.
Yeah, man.
I
I just want to take the time to thank you for inviting me on. I mean, I know it's been a long time.
a very
It's
long
been
time. Very
maybe more than 2 years since you
yeah
said
about
you
that.
wanted to
Yeah.
interview me. And for me, man, I would say that I've really been just putting in that work, bro. Like most of my time is just really being invested into becoming the best version of myself. And while I'm doing that, inspiring and encouraging the young people around me. So recently, we had this march in Babono. That's my community, where we had the police, we had the ministers, we had we were doing our thing, and you know this is this is what I am passionate about. Being able to use my voice, my skills to inspire change, inspire positivity. Does that mean I am perfect? Does that mean I am without flaw? Nah, man. I am just someone who is committed to self improving. I'm just somebody who, what they say, I'm just a trying man.
Yep.
Cannot knock a trying man. I'm just a trying man. I'm not perfect. I'm gonna make mistakes, but if somebody is trying, bro, like that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
and and if you're learning from your mistakes, like we're all gonna make mistakes, but just to reference a question I was asked earlier regarding failure, if you keep making the same failure over and over and over and over and over again, they say that's the definition of insanity. You're never learning, you're never growing. So we must sometimes pause and try to identify what's causing us to fail in different areas in our life and then make the change. We're only getting
Absolutely.
older, man. We're not getting younger. So we can't keep
Nope.
seeing life the same way. Like, I definitely don't see life the same way I did 5 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe not even
And you
last
probably
year.
won't see life the same way that you see it now 5 years from now. So
Most
I
definitely,
mean,
brother. Most definitely. We're just staring the course, man. We're just sailors. We're sailing to our destination, and sometimes you get so in hand,
yeah,
but the destination is
for
the
sure,
destination is there. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. I had some of my followers from Instagram who were messaging me, and they were asking me if we've gone live already because I thought we were going to
Oh,
be live on Instagram.
on
So I have a
Instagram.
lot of I have a lot of answering to do.
Don't worry. Next time we'll make IG happen
Yeah.
as well. All right.
Yeah,
So
but
we'll
but
try to make
but
IG happen.
this is gonna be posted on there as well, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll make it available to you. So I mean,
But for sure,
everybody
I mean,
can
we could we,
get.
we could always do a live on IG too. I think that'd be pretty cool.
For sure, for sure. Dupes and I are trying to make this not just a one-time thing, but something that we do ever so often.
Yeah.
You would be a perfect guest to have on because we plan on having some guest hosts hop in from time to time, and we'll change the topic from time to time. So I mean this has gone really really well. I think the chat will agree with me that it has gone really well.
Yeah.
Despite the technical difficulties, but the conversation and the content itself was really pretty good. So I really enjoyed this conversation with you, bro. I always enjoy speaking to you,
Well,
and speaking
appreciate
to
it.
you here in this platform was amazing. So we definitely have to do another one. Don't be a stranger. I know you're a very busy
Positive.
man, as am I,
Yeah.
but
Like you're
don't be a
talking to me
stranger.
right now, bro, and I have like 10 things going through my mind of what I have to do next. So yeah.
so
Yeah.
so we'll let you get to it. But anyhow, guys, this is the Game Changers podcast. Game Changers is available wherever you get your podcast. We are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, you can get the Game Changers podcast. And we're expanding. Like I said, we're going to probably have some more live sessions. Um,
Alright.
we were supposed to have some giveaways today, but it might not work out given our circumstances. But tune in for the next live, and we'll definitely have some giveaways once we sort out all our technical difficulties. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Nev, any last words?
Yeah, man. Before I leave, I just want to encourage those who are listening. I understand that there is a lot going on right now in St. Lucia. Um, a lot of not good things are happening on the news, but I really, really, really want to encourage those who are listening and to let you guys know that, hey, it was only like last year that Julian Alfred became Olympian. We had our first
Mhm.
gold medal Olympian, amongst many other great, amazing, positive news that we've received, where St. Lucia has broken barriers, where St. Lucia has been able to reach heights that has never been reached before. We as a people, we as a nation are powerful, and we do not understand how powerful we are, and so we find ourselves destroying each other. My encouragement to those of you who are listening is to seek Christ. That's my message. I have lived life, and I have almost lost my life many different times in different ways that, I mean, time won't permit me to go through even one of them with you.
Right.
But my purpose and my mission is to spread the gospel. And the gospel is love. The gospel is that, Jesus Christ, he came on the earth, and he lived, and he died for humanity. He shed his blood, his perfect blood. He never sinned. and he shed his perfect blood for us. And one day he's gonna come back again. And it's important that we make the effort to set our soul right because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And most of what you are experiencing today, tomorrow it might not be. We do not know when our time will come. I don't know when my time will come, but the time that I have been allotted and given today, which I am grateful for, I am making the effort to use it to spread the good news of Jesus Christ. So I just want to take the time to thank Mr. Quinn, thank Mr. Game Changers Dupes, and yeah, if you want to hear more and see more, you could always check me out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook at Innovace, Aspire to Inspire. That is INNOVACE, Aspire to Inspire. That is my message. I hope that you guys have a blessed evening and keep praying, man. For those of you who've lost loved
For sure.
ones, you know, my condolences to everybody, and let us try our best to love one another and try to do better as a people, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Bro, that's a perfect way to end this interview and to thank you again for coming on. Again, you will not be a stranger. I will be reaching out in the future so we can show some love to the IG audience as well
Yeah,
as our audiences in different places. All right, so bro, thank you for
for sure.
coming on. Thank you, Dupes, for being the real soldier.
Shout
People
out to
that have
Dupes, man.
finally saw you come to the forefront. You've been doing your thing behind the scenes. We have a lot more to do together.
Hold on,
But
hold on,
thank you so much for hopping
hold
in.
on, hold on. Let me ask Dupes a question, right? So, before I ask you, I'm gonna show you mine. Let me see if it's gonna show on the screen. Hold on. No, hold
Did I
on.
close my rings today?
Did you? Yeah, did you?
Far from it. Far from it.
Hey, what's up? What's up with
I
that?
gotta go take a jog there now.
Close them rings, man. Close them
today,
rings.
today
For
was
those of
supposed
you
to
who
be
are
a day.
listening, I was just showing him my Apple Watch, and
Yeah,
in the Apple Watch it has like rings for
the
exercise,
steps.
so
Yeah,
calories and time working out. So I just saw he had an Apple Watch, so I was just asking him if he closed his rings, man. For those of you
Not
who are
today,
listening
but
and watching, if you have an Apple
I
Watch,
promise you
close
more
your
rings
damn
close
closing.
your
rings.
rings.
Close your
Right.
rings.
And I know there's a network. So you are on my I'm gonna add you to my network. You're gonna be the first person I add to my network to hold me
Bless.
accountable for
I am
closing my
grateful,
rings.
brother. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
All right, bro.
Bless
I
and
don't
All
have
love.
right,
an
all the
Apple
best,
Watch,
guys.
but I'll close my own rings
Success.
on my own watch. Okay? Just some
Love the hell out.
embarrassing me here on the live
Get an
because
Apple,
I
start
feel
writing
like
Hey
Apples,
man,
you'll be
listen,
fine.
listen. It's an exclusive community, but it's not an exclusive community. If you understand,
right.
you're free to
All right,
join,
cool.
man.
Cool. All right,
All right,
Bessie.
All right,
brother.
all the best,
Enjoy the
guys.
rest of your
Take
night.
care.
Much love to you, man. Take care, guys.